So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do this $42 billion and then rinse and repeat and double it and double it and double it and double it. And you're going to say like, well, where does it end? Well, I guess when we've taken 1% of the fixed income market, which is $3 trillion, and when we levered it up and we've got 10 billion, we bought 3 trillion of Bitcoin and we're trading at $10 trillion in market cap, we'll be growing 20% a year.
All right,
like that's the end game, right?
So
Welcome to the show, and I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And I'm here to give you a quick update to keep your eyes on the prize, your head in the game, because I believe that we are on the verge of the beginning of one of the biggest bull runs of all time. Now, Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy just announced his plan to buy $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin. So we're going to go over just how that could impact the price, his plan to do so, and one model that shows that Bitcoin can hit $1 million a lot sooner than we think, and that has been projected at the original 2030 date to potentially even 2025. So we're going to go over the ramifications of that, what that will mean for the Bitcoin price in the near term, and also altcoins. And finally, I'm going to let you know which altcoins I've been picking up on this dip, and one sector in particular as part of a subsector that could do a 50 to 100x sooner than most people think as well. And I have a lot of knowledge for you and insights into that sector. So if you like that, hit the like, smash the subscribe. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm your host, Megan Nilsson, aka Crypto Megan, tuning in from sunny southern Marbella, Spain. Guys, let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to connect with you, and let's do this. So I want to set the tone as to why exactly I believe it's so essential to zoom out just a little bit, as many people have been very worried about what's happened in this correction and whether or not we're ending the bull run here and if this is a concerning thing. And actually, it's just par for the course. We needed a correction after going weeks and weeks up on end in the green. And look at this chart. Just look how bullish this chart is. This is called the 3 revolutionary cycles. So the political revolutionary cycles, which are 250 years, financial revolution cycles, which are 80 years, technological revolution cycles, which are 50 years. So it goes over all of the past kind of like revolutions and periods in history, most notably the Protestant Reformation in the 1500s. Then you have the American Revolution in the 1700s from 1765 to 1783. And now we are at yet another inflection point that is set to go on until 2033, which is the decentralized revolution. So a lot of inflection points, a lot of different points of confluence that show that by 2030, we could be having a radical change to this world. And some predict even much sooner due to people like Michael Saylor, who are kind of catapulting this growth, giving these catalysts for this path ahead, as well as President Trump and the incoming administration that are so bullish on Bitcoin and crypto. And things are just going to change at rapid pace. And I'm not sure people are prepared enough or bullish enough on this asset. Oftentimes people ask me, so at the end of the bull run, are you going to cash out or are you going to sell into Bitcoin and keep Bitcoin? And the answer is I will have some cash on hand, as I think that's the responsible thing to do for now if you need to pay for life, if you want to have other investments. But I will have a portion of my portfolio in Bitcoin that I just don't touch, that I keep there, that I want to continue to accumulate to. And a lot of my profits out of altcoins will be into Bitcoin. And I think that is the play for the coming years. And not even that too far off. I mean, we're already in 2025, basically. 2030 is 5 years away. That's a crazy thought to think that all of these models are showing that Bitcoin could reach 1 million by even 2030, let alone before then. So it is essential to zoom out. Now, before we get into this episode, I just want to remind you that we do have a trading group. I'm now part of that trading group, Capital Mindset. It is a revolution in itself. We're teaching people how to trade, how to leverage trade, and also for investors who just want the best entries and they want to know what are the sectors that are strongest, what are the coins that are the strongest to set it and forget it. That is how I started out with this trading group, and it has absolutely been key in guiding me to different levels, because maybe some of you don't pay attention to the charts 24/7. I happen to do that because this is my job. But for all of you who want to just keep your pulse on the market, they are calling these. We have 11 of the top analysts in the world in Web3 and trading, like looking at these charts 24/7. So Phala was one of those posts that was set up recently in the group by Trip, the lead analyst, and by the breakout level of 18 cents, around 18 cents. It has since run up to about 41 cents for 130% profit, while most coins are trading sideways right now or down. So we helped you identify the best setups and get into those. Do so. It will change your life. Another one of those bangers, as we call them, was Secret, which I'm actually a board member of now. So it is my mission to educate people on why this is. Now, Secret and Phala both happen to be a part of this narrative, which I believe will 50 to 100x as early as this cycle, because people are just starting to catch on to it. AI agents are just starting to be a big thing. And what is essential for AI to succeed on the blockchain is confidentiality. This is confidential computing, the DCC narrative. Both Phala and Secret are part of those, and they are some of the strongest performers that we've identified in the group. Now, they have both pulled back. Well, Secret has pulled back significantly, so I'll talk about my buy-in price for Secret. But Phala has just had a huge pump, so wait for a pullback on that one. But these are two of the strongest coins in a hottest sector, which is the DCC narrative, which I am sure will take everybody by storm this coming year in this cycle, which I'll prepare you for at the end, so stay tuned. Now, the biggest news. Michael Saylor says he's going to keep raising billions in cheap capital until MicroStrategy owns at least $3 trillion in Bitcoin and has a market cap of $10 trillion. A $10 trillion market cap is a 120x from here. Those are astounding numbers, and this kind of sends shockwaves through the market because it's kind of like fast tracking almost the process, as the US says that their plan is to buy 200,000 worth of 200,000 Bitcoins per year as the part of the strategic reserve currency. I mean, there's so many things that are happening, and now it feels like it's going to be a race to who can own the most first or get the best price. So let's dig into what this actually means for Bitcoin, for this bull market, and for your beloved altcoins. So Michael Saylor says he is going all in. MicroStrategy Master, MSTR, just said that they want to raise authorized share count by 10 billion. They currently have 330 million shares outstanding, meaning this could increase share count by 3,000%. What does this mean? The bullish argument is that the proposal allows MicroStrategy the ability to issue more shares in the future. This proposal will allow 10 billion shares to be issued, but does not mean 10 billion shares are coming at once. They can use these issuances to buy Bitcoin, which is essentially his plan. Currently, MicroStrategy is capped at 330 million shares of common stock with 225 million outstanding. A 10-to-1 stock split, non-dilutive, would bring the share count to 3.3 billion. This proposal gives Master flexibility to do future ATMs, convertible note offerings, and stock splits. Essentially this, guys. Borrow money through 0% convertible notes, buy Bitcoin and drive price higher, sell new shares at a premium, and buy more Bitcoin. Repeat. Bears will say this is unsustainable. But at a certain point, which we're going to look at now, we'll reach that inflection point of mass adoption, and this whole entire asset class will become less volatile. Note, it's worth noting that many large companies have north of 10 billion shares outstanding. Apple has 15.2 billion shares outstanding. Microsoft and Amazon currently have 7.5 billion and 10.5 billion shares outstanding. So essentially, this isn't completely out of the norm, but they are very different companies, and MicroStrategy is the first of its kind to do what it's doing with Bitcoin. So let's dig deeper.
So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do this $42 billion and then rinse and repeat and double it and double it and double it and double it. And you're going to say, like, well, where does it end? Well, I guess when we've taken 1% of the fixed income market, which is $3 trillion, and when we levered it up and we've got 10 billion, we bought 3 trillion of Bitcoin and we're trading at $10 trillion in market cap, we'll be growing 20% a year. So,
wow, those numbers are astounding. And many are asking, how is this sustainable? How will this work? We are going to now get into a thread. So Michael Saylor's endgame is to buy $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy can conservatively own approximately 16% of the total Bitcoin supply, or almost 3,500,000 Bitcoin. For those who think this is a moon boy projection, listen to the video clip below very closely. You will hear him say that he plans on buying $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin. Yes, he's declared his intentions and how he's going to get there. Even if Saylor buys $3 trillion worth of Bitcoin, an average price of $1 million per coin, he would be able to buy 3 million Bitcoin. Check my math. So this would conservatively bring his total Bitcoin holdings to 3 million, almost 3,500,000. Saylor could single-handedly jack the price of Bitcoin to $1 million per coin And an Omega candle could be coming in 2025. What's going to happen when nation states, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and billions of people complement Saylor's $3 trillion worth of purchases? What is bigger than an Omega candle? I ask Grok, and it doesn't even know. Okay, so this is ultra mega bullish. Obviously, $3 trillion injection of liquidity into Bitcoin over time now. I mean, this million by 2025, I don't believe is realistic. But then again, when mass adoption starts to happen and the S curve starts to reach that point of mass, I mean, these gains can be exponential. And then he says, I think we should name it the infinity candle. This would be representative of Bitcoin's stock to FOMO model. So we now not only have a stock to flow, we have a stock to FOMO, guys. Saylor has said he is going to double his $42 billion Bitcoin investment at least 4 times. And here's how that could lead him to acquiring more than 4 million Bitcoin in 2025. Q1, raise 84 billion to buy 700,000 Bitcoin. Q2, 168 billion. Q3, and you get the idea, right? Up until Q4, when he's done his last rounds of raise, in 1 year, there's the possibility that he could realistically buy 4,418,000 Bitcoin. I say realistically because the demand for Saylor's $42 billion equity raise was so great that he's going to be able to use it all up in 3 to 4 months instead of the projected 3 years. So note, the projection for this spending of Bitcoin to buy this Bitcoin is 3 years. This would bring their current Bitcoin holdings to 444,262 Bitcoin to 4,857,000 Bitcoin, or 23% of all Bitcoin. So we are closer to 1 million Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin than you think. Let me know what you think about this in the comments and whether this is realistic, whether or not you think Michael Saylor will actually follow through on this, and how quickly this could happen. Either way, whether it's next year or 2030, 5 years is nothing, guys, for a $1 million Bitcoin. And what will the rest of the market look like when Bitcoin's at that kind of price? That's how adoption happens. Mass adoption happens. We're early adopters until one day the world starts to adopt it more and more. And even Tim Draper, who's been on my podcast, says that he envisions a world in which finally, after Bitcoin becomes mass adopted, it's a little bit more stable and people then are willing to potentially even spend their Bitcoin instead of just have it as a store of value. So I think we're very many years off from that kind of world, but from $1 million Bitcoin, much closer than we may think. I do absolutely agree with that. To understand exponential growth, envision yourself holding 2 very powerful magnets. As you start to bring the 2 magnets together, it gets harder to hold them apart, and all of a sudden, boom, they clap together. This is what we're about to experience. So I like that. I like that, painting that picture. Very good. A sudden boom in the price of Bitcoin as adoption goes from less than 1% to 10% in a very short time. Now, you may better understand why Saylor's frantically but intelligently trying to buy $42 worth of Bitcoin. As an engineer, he understands what exponential demand will cause the price of finite commodity. Saylor has been on record saying that he will be buying the top forever. Don't underestimate an aeronautical MIT engineer. Okay, let's have a look at this FOMO, stock to FOMO model here. It's really interesting. It kind of shows that the day fiat dies, due to the forever rising value of Bitcoin and the forever declining value of fiat, there will be a day after which no one will exchange even a single Satoshi for any amount of fiat. This model predicts that day to be February 4th, 2030. This stock to FOMO model essentially shows that Bitcoin will go somewhere from 100,000 within 2024 to 1 million by 2027. So regardless of when that happens, there is no doubt in my mind that it is happening. So I encourage you and urge you to study and act accordingly, because being out of the markets and being out of Bitcoin is riskier than being in Bitcoin, in my opinion. Now, this is not financial advice, so you must do what your strategy indicates, but I am trying to stack those sats, guys, get as much Bitcoin as I can, and also generate as much wealth as I can, which obviously involves buying altcoins at a lower valuation price. So I'm going to show you the strongest altcoins now in just a minute. Global adoption as nation states, corporations, Google, Amazon, and billions join the race. Bitcoin's value will skyrocket. Holding forever. Saylor has said repeatedly he'll be buying the top forever. What's next? The $1 million Bitcoin milestone could happen by the end of 2025, according to experts like Samson Mao. Prepare for liftoff. Keep stacking Bitcoin. Stay focused on long-term growth. Buckle up for the Omega candle, or what some are now calling the candle, the infinity candle. Are you ready for Bitcoin's exponential rise? Let's ride the wave together. This is super exciting. Whether or not you believe it's going to happen this year or not, we're about to experience sovereign wealth get in, institutional FOMO, country FOMO. Guys, It is happening, and we still have the chance to front run it. So what are you waiting for? Okay, so let's go over a little bit about where Bitcoin is now. And according to Eric Crown, one of my favorite analysts, what could happen? So we were at local resistance around 98,000, currently trading around 95,000. And the lowest level of support here before breaking down into the 80s is around that $92,000 mark, which is a critical mark, right? And actually what Eric Crown said is that he believes that a lot of traders will be calling this a head and shoulders pattern. And if that pattern breaks, it shows us going down into the mid 80s, potentially that $88,000 level or lower to 79,000. But he says that it could potentially be a bear trap and that we could come down a little bit lower into the higher 80s and then skyrocket back if we break up back above this $92,000 level. We could be due to see the next run up, which in previous episodes that he did with the top trader, he quantified that Bitcoin could land anywhere from 118,000 to 140,000 in just Q1 alone. So what is the lesson here is that, or what is the takeaway here? If you're worried about Bitcoin going up and down, you're stressed out, just leave your computer for 2 weeks, come back mid-January, and all will be right with the world. That is the projection. That is what the charts potentially show here, that we are closer to a bottom in time and price than we think, and that any potential, breakage of this area here could just be a bear trap to fake everybody out before the next massive swing up. Now, what would that do for our altcoins? Bitcoin dominance, we can see here, this could potentially be the first lower high on the primary trend. And we know what happens when this Bitcoin dominance starts to break down. That's when people quit their 9 to 5. That's when you make that exponential growth and you generate that wealth. And we could come all the way back down to the late 30% ranges. And in that time frame is when altcoins go bananas, as Raoul Pal just did an episode about. Welcome and join me in the banana zone that is coming as of January. Things are going to get really amazing. So if you're stressed out, just go take a few weeks off and come back and see where we are. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed. There are no guarantees, but I am almost certain that that is where we're headed, and I'm positioning myself in that way, trying to pick up as many altcoins as I can right now on this dip. Okay, so number one, you all know I've been banging on the tables about ADA since day one, since I did that 65x last cycle, and I am a firm, core, hard believer that Cardano is going to be one of the biggest cryptos in the world in the next 10 years, and they're going to continue to build, innovate, and thrive. So currently we are around the 89 cent mark, and we are retesting. It took almost a month to come back down to this retest entry, but you're getting a beautiful entry here on Cardano, anywhere in this range from 76 cents to where it is now. My price prediction for this cycle for Cardano is a bearish case, more bearish case at $6, mid $8, very high conviction, $10 at a blow off top. I mean, that is over a 10x from here if we get to that point. And that's in a large cap coin. So one of the more solid, stable plays, foundational pillars, so to speak, of your portfolio could be anywhere from a 6 to a 10x from here. I mean, that is phenomenal. I'm definitely stacking more Cardano at these levels. Theta, you all know Theta is on my radar, and Theta could catch a bigger bid than many people think. I mean, AI is going to be a massive trend this coming year. I mean, it's going to take everyone by storm. AI agents are already bubbling up everywhere. I just did a podcast with two of the leading influences and technical minds in this space, in the decentralized computing, confidential computing space. And this is going to be way bigger than any of us can imagine. So if Theta catches that AI bid, as I've said previously, it could be one of the top AI coins. We could see this thing, melt faces and explode. Currently, we're getting a phenomenal entry at around $2.19 with a strong support at around $2. As you can see here, this is a chart from Capital Mindset as well. The best entry on support around $2, very strong level of support before we springboard up to the measured move, which is around $7. Now, my price projection for this coming cycle for Theta is $25, but if it gets the AI bid, the catch in that bid, we potentially get the US exchange listing, like Mitch had said at ThetaCon in December. This thing could blow past $25. We could go into $30 to $50. And then what would that do for TFUEL, which is the gas on this chain, and TDROP, which is the ultra mega low cap gem that is used in the NFT marketplace and for other things to reward loyalty, etc. And also, we just got word that actually it is rebranding into working with major sports teams. So TDROP could be one of those 100x gems. TFUEL will probably outperform Theta as it always has. And this is going to be a phenomenal cycle for the Theta ecosystem. So do not fade this. Theta to $25 plus. TFUEL, I know I said previously in my last episode $1, but that was my conservative take. I believe $2 to $5 is possible. So guys, I'm positioning accordingly. That's just what I'm doing. Not financial advice. So please do stick to your strategy. But if we can get these 10Xs on large cap to mid cap coins, that is a phenomenal play because it's the least risky play out of all the altcoins, or less risk for more reward. And that's what I'm looking for, the ones that are more undervalued right now. Now, Secret, as I said, I'm on the board for Secret Network. We just did a phenomenal podcast explaining why decentralized confidential computing will be actually essential for AI to grow and scale, which is why I believe this is going to blow up into epic proportions. Secret was posted inside in the group, in the Capital Mindset group, right around here by the breakout of 24 cents, ran all the way up to the measured move around 77 cents. And now we have a very good entry as it is pulled all the way back to 39 cents. A little bit further pullback, but I am buying at this level, and I do have an allocation as a board member, but I really do plan to shine a light on this to actually make powerful partnerships, like potentially with Theta. And that is not in the works yet, but it's one of my missions to make these powerful partnerships so that AI can scale and grow as it should and as it must, right? And the security is essential for that. Confidentiality is essential for that as well. So I have big plans for Secret Network, and I think it's going to do phenomenally. In fact, we are right now at $118 million market cap. I mean, this could potentially 50x over time, right? For this cycle, I could see this easily going into a $1 to $2 billion market cap. So yeah, big exponential gains for Secret ahead, I believe, and I'm positioning accordingly. So it's really exciting. It's not a narrative that many are talking about yet, but I am trying to be forward thinking and playing chess in this whole scheme of things, and I believe Secret will do well. MOCA is another one of those. FDV at $3 billion currently, but $575 million market cap. This is Animoca, guys. This is the MOCA network. This is MOCA coin, and they're doing huge things. I mean, this is highly slept on. This one, I believe, could do a solid 10x from here and beyond. So the coin is currently pumping now, and it has just continued to go up in this period of consolidation and correction for most altcoins. And that is because of the tokenomics and the way they've structured it. Actually, they have a collection of NFTs called Mocaverse NFTs. I actually bought one, and I talked about it on the channel. I bought it around 2.2. It has since gone up to 4 Ethereum in less than a week. People are realizing the value there. They have 35,000 MOCA tokens inside that are vested. Will be completely unlocked by October 2025, so you get that allocation. The NFT pays for itself and beyond. If I believe MOCA can easily hit $1 from here. So you guys can do the math, but apart from that, you earn staking power, not to earn MOCA tokens, but to earn this thing they call staking power that you can then burn in toward an allocation of an airdrop of one of their partner coins that is launching onto the market. I mean, Island just happened, Nifty Island, and people got thousands of dollars worth due to the staking power from just holding their MOCA tokens. It's liquid staking, so there's no lockup period. Just as long as your tokens are staked, you get that staking power, which you can then burn toward an allocation of a new partner of Animoca to be launched. So there will be upcoming launches in January, I'm sure. And also all of the benefits they decide to give NFT holders is the only NFT in their collection as of right now. The main NFT, which is their 8,888 of them. Guys, I highly suggest if you don't want to spend the premium to get the NFT, which also gives you a 30% boost on your staking power, look into getting some of this coin, staking it, getting an allocation toward their partner networks. I mean, this is one of the highly slept on plays, in my opinion. And then we have Phala, which was the other coin I talked about earlier at a $352 million market cap, could also do very, very well. They just had a massive pump, so wait for a pullback, but that DCC narrative is going to be hot, mark my words. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you understand just the magnitude of what is going on right now and how essential it is to take action, or at least to have a strategy and stick to that strategy so that you can capitalize on one of the greatest wealth generating events of all time, of history, of our generation anyway. And I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. We'll have potentially a very calm couple of days here as we come into the end of the year. And I believe January will do very well and see very big things. So thank you for tuning in. It was my pleasure to be with you here this weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow.